1 year had passed, 12 whole months without a single message, no calls, not even the faintest trace on social media. She had blocked his number, deleted every photo, unfollowed every account. She even stopped visiting their favorite cafe, the one with the crooked lamp in the corner, because every little detail reminded her of him. To her friends, she smiled and said she was over it. To herself, she whispered late at night that she was fine. And most days, she almost believed the lie. Until that Tuesday morning. The office buzzed with routine. Keyboards clattering, phones ringing, the smell of burnt coffee drifting through the air. Layla sat at her desk, scrolling through the usual flood of emails. Promotions, deadlines, a client's complaint. And then she saw it. A name she hadn't seen in a year. Adam. Her stomach tightened. Her breath caught. The subject line read only 2 words. Please read. Her hand froze on the mouse. She could hear her own heartbeat louder than the noise around her. After a year of silence, what could he possibly want now? She tried to act normal, nodding at a joke from a colleague, sipping her coffee as if everything was fine. But her eyes kept drifting back to the glowing screen. Don't open it. Don't you dare, she told herself. But another thought followed quickly. What if it's important? What if it's something I need to know? She turned toward the window, hoping for a distraction. Outside, a light rain began to fall, the same kind of rain that had been there the day she first met him. And just like that, her mind slipped back into the past. It was a tiny bookstore tucked away on a quiet street. She had reached for a poetry collection, and at that exact moment, another hand touched the same book. Their fingers brushed. Both of them laughed awkwardly. He insisted she take the book. She insisted he should. In the end, they sat together in the shop's little cafe corner and read it, side by side. That day turned into calls, into walks, into nights filled with laughter and silly arguments about which cafe made the best croissants. Adam wasn't just a boyfriend. He became her closest friend, the one who knew her coffee order by heart, the one who sent her good morning sunshine every single day, the one who listened to her dreams like they were possible, like he could make them real. Layla had believed she had found forever, but forever had collapsed on an... For months, Adam had told her he was busy with work and finance, that the late nights, the canceled dinners, the sudden trips out of town were all part of his demanding job. She trusted him. She didn't question it, until the night she found the truth. It wasn't dramatic, not at first. Just a small detail, a tiny inconsistency. He had said he was flying to Paris for meetings, but a friend spotted him at a local bar the same night. At first, Layla laughed it off. Maybe her friend was mistaken. Maybe there was an explanation. But when she looked closer, she realized the truth had been there all along. The calls that went unanswered, the vague excuses, the way he dodged simple questions. Adam hadn't been traveling for business at all. He had lost his job months earlier. He was unemployed, hiding it, spinning lies to cover the shame. And when she confronted him, he broke down. Tears in his eyes, voice shaking. He told her he was scared she would see him as a failure, that he didn't want to lose her. But to Layla, the problem wasn't the job. It was the trust that shattered. If he could lie about this, what else could he hide? She remembered standing in her kitchen that night, the sound of rain against the window, her phone glowing with unanswered messages from him. Her heart ached, But her decision was clear. She ended it. She blocked him. And for weeks she cried herself to sleep, staring at the ceiling and wondering how love could vanish so quickly. Slowly she built a new life. Routine became her armor. Her work, her friends, her small apartment. All of it was stitched together like a shield against the memories. She convinced herself she was stronger now, that she had moved on. But here it was again. His name, that subject line. Please read. She closed her laptop, pressing her hands against her face. But the words lingered in her mind, whispering, pulling her back into the story she thought was over. That night, Layla sat on her bed with the laptop in front of her. The email notification still glowed at the top of her screen. She had avoided it all day, but now the silence of her apartment made it louder, heavier, impossible to ignore. Her finger hovered over the mouse. Don't do it, she whispered to herself. He doesn't deserve another chance to hurt you. But another voice inside her argued back. What if it's not about you? What if something happened? What if he's different now? The memories came flooding in. The late night walks when he would wrap his coat around her shoulders. The way he used to wait outside her office, leaning against his car with that crooked smile. The birthday surprise where he filled her tiny living room with candles and balloons because she once admitted she hated eating cake alone. Her chest ached with the sweetness of it all. But then the darker memories followed. The unanswered calls, the excuses, the nights she waited by the window, heart racing, while he claimed to be working late. The hollow feeling when the truth finally came out. Tears pricked her eyes. She hated how much power he still had over her. One email, 2 words, and her carefully built walls were already trembling. She closed her laptop with a sharp snap and pushed it away. But sleep didn't come. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, the words echoing in her head. Please read. Please read. Please read. By 3 a.m, she gave up. She sat up, pulled the laptop back toward her, and with trembling hands, she clicked. The email opened. Her breath caught as her eyes scanned the first line. Layla, the email began. If you're reading this, it means I finally found the courage to reach out. I know I don't deserve your time, but please, hear me out. Her stomach tightened as she scrolled. I lied to you. I know that, and I'll regret it for the rest of my life. Losing my job wasn't the worst part. Losing you was. I was ashamed, terrified you'd see me as less of a man. So I hid the truth. That cowardice cost me everything. Her eyes burned, but she kept reading. I'm not writing to ask for forgiveness. I'm writing because I need to tell you what I couldn't back then. I wasn't just hiding unemployment, Layla. I was hiding myself. The debt. The depression. The nights I sat in my car for hours because I didn't want you to see me like that. I thought I was protecting you from my darkness, but instead, I dragged you into it. Layla's hand covered her mouth. She could almost hear his voice, trembling, breaking between the words. Then came the line that froze her completely. Last month, I was in the hospital. I won't go into details here, but it was bad. Lying there made me realize how short life is, and how I never told you the full truth. If you never want to see me again, I'll accept that. But if there's even the smallest chance, please meet me, just once, so I can say goodbye properly. The email ended with a place and time. No pressure, no begging, just a simple request. Layla stared at the screen, her pulse racing. Her hands shook so badly she had to set the laptop aside. A storm of emotions flooded her. Anger, sadness, pity, confusion. She wanted to scream. She wanted to cry. She wanted to slam the laptop shut and pretend none of this existed. But deep down, she also wanted to see him. Just once. For answers. For closure. The next day, Layla moved through her routine like a ghost. She answered emails at work, smiled at her colleagues, even laughed at a joke or two. But her mind was miles away, circling the same question over and over. Should she go? Every part of her screamed that it was dangerous, that reopening this door would only bring pain. She had worked too hard to rebuild her life, to patch up the cracks he left behind. But another part of her whispered that maybe, just maybe, she needed to see him one last time. Not for love, not for reconciliation, for closure. By evening, she found herself standing in front of the mirror, fixing her hair with trembling fingers. It's just a meeting, she told her reflection. Nothing more. The cafe he had chosen was quiet, almost hidden, the kind of place people passed by without noticing. When she stepped inside, her heart hammered so hard she thought the whole room could hear it. And then she saw him. Adam was sitting by the window, looking smaller somehow, thinner, like life had carved pieces out of him. When his eyes met hers, he stood up slowly, almost uncertain if she would really come closer. For a moment, Layla froze at the door. 1,000 memories hit her at once. The bookstore, the laughter, the lies, the nights of waiting. Part of her wanted to turn around and run, but her feet moved forward, step by step, until she stood across from him. Layla, he breathed, his voice softer than she remembered. She sat down without answering, her hands folded tightly in her lap, as if holding herself together. Silence stretched between them, heavy and fragile. Finally, Adam spoke. I didn't think you'd come. Layla's throat tightened. Neither did I. Adam's fingers toyed with the edge of his coffee cup. He didn't look at her at first, just stared down as if the words might be hiding in the steam. I know I have no right to ask for your time, he said finally, but I needed you to hear it from me. The truth, not the lies I told before. Layla's jaw tightened. The truth? Her voice cracked, half anger, half disbelief. Do you even know what that word means anymore? His eyes lifted to hers, raw and unguarded. I do now. Because losing you taught me what it costs to hide. Every night I replay it all, the lies, your face when you found out, the way you walked away. And I hate myself for it. Layla's heart twisted. She wanted to stay cold, to let his words bounce off her. But the sincerity in his voice chipped at her armor. Why didn't you just tell me? She asked, her voice breaking. Why didn't you trust me enough to handle the truth? Because I didn't trust myself, Adam admitted. I thought if I pretended long enough, maybe I could climb out of the hole I was in. I thought if I kept you in the light, you wouldn't see the darkness I was drowning in. Tears stung her eyes. She hated them, hated how they betrayed her resolve. You think hiding the truth protects someone? No, Adam, it destroys them. It destroyed me. Silence fell again. Outside, the rain tapped gently against the window. Just like the night they first met. Finally, Adam whispered, "I never stopped loving you, Layla. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I need you to know that." Her chest ached at his words. For a fleeting moment, she remembered how it felt to be held by him, how safe she once felt in his arms. But just as quickly, she remembered the sleepless nights, the unanswered calls, the hollow ache of betrayal. She swallowed hard, torn between two voices inside her, one begging her to walk away forever, the other whispering that maybe, just maybe, people could change. Layla sat, frozen, her nails digging into her palm beneath the table. Adam's eyes searched hers, desperate, pleading but careful, as if even hope itself might scare her away. Her heart thundered. A part of her wanted to scream, to tell him he had no right to reopen wounds he created. Another part longed to believe him, to believe that maybe this broken man across from her truly had changed. She thought of the nights she cried alone, clutching her pillow like it was the only thing holding her together. She thought of her friends, who told her she deserved better. She thought of how long it had taken to rebuild even a fragile version of herself. Her voice trembled when she finally spoke. "You broke me, Adam. You turned love into doubt, trust into fear. Do you understand that?" His face crumpled, and he nodded slowly. "I know. And I'll carry that forever. I'm not asking you to erase it. I'm only asking you to let me prove I can be different." Layla inhaled sharply, her chest tight. Could she risk it? Could she put her heart back into hands that had already dropped it once? Her eyes drifted to the rain outside. Drops sliding down the glass, like little timelines of choices she could take. Stay or go. Forgive or walk away. The silence stretched, heavier than any words. Then Layla stood up. Adam's eyes widened, his breath catching. "Layla," she looked at him, her heart breaking all over again. "I don't know if I can ever love you the way I once did," she whispered, "but I do know this. I can't lose myself again." For a moment, neither of them moved. Just two people staring across a table, realizing love wasn't always enough. Then Layla turned and walked toward the door. Each step felt like carrying 1,000 pounds. Each step also felt like freedom. The bell above the cafe door rang softly as Layla stepped outside. The cool night air hit her face, and for the first time in a long while, she could breathe. Behind her, Adam remained at the table, a shadow of the man she once knew. Maybe he would change. Maybe he wouldn't. But it was no longer her burden to carry. Layla walked slowly down the street, the rain dampening her hair, the city lights blurring like watercolor. Her heart still ached. How could it not? But beneath the ache was something new. Strength. Because sometimes closure doesn't come from answers or apologies or promises. Sometimes closure comes from choosing yourself. And as she turned the corner, disappearing into the night, one thought lingered in her mind. Love should never cost you your peace. What about you? If you were in Layla's place, would you have given Adam a second chance? Or would you have walked away too?